Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about how I got this look. I'm really happy with how it came out. It came out pretty great in my opinion. I really love plummy eyeshadows, so that's what I did with this look. If you guys want to see how I got this look, just go ahead and keep on watching. So first off, I'm going to start off with my e.l.f. face primer. It's the Tone Adjusting Primer. And I'm just going to go ahead and put maybe like a pump or so on my finger. It looks maybe just like that size amount, and I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it to my face. I like to ensure that I get my T-zone really well because that's where I tend to get oily the quickest. So once I feel like that's complete, I'll be using two different kinds of foundation. The first one I'm going to be using is the Maybelline Matte and Poreless. It's in the shade 220 Natural Beige. And then the next one I'm going to be using is the e.l.f. HD Mattifying Foundation in the shade Porcelain. The reason why I'm going to be using two is because the two of them by themselves do not match my skin tone. I'm going to pour it on the back of my hand, and it's maybe a nickel size amount. I'm going to go ahead and dot it on my cheek. I like to leave the space in between the dots on my cheek because in those spaces is where I put the e.l.f. foundation. So then I'm going to go ahead and take in the e.l.f. foundation. And I'm going to put it in the spaces where I didn't put the Maybelline one. I don't know why, but the two of these together match me pretty well. And the coverage on the e.l.f. one is pretty awesome combined with the Maybelline one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the small stippling brush by e.l.f. and I'm going to use this to blend the two foundations together. And once I feel like I've kind of combined the color together, I'm going to take my beauty blender. It looks like this. And I'm going to go ahead and like melt it into my face. And then I'm just going to repeat the same process over my entire face. Then with the little bit that's left on my hand, I go in areas that I think I need more coverage in, just with a little bit more foundation. So while my face is setting, I go ahead and I use my concealer to conceal under my eyes. The concealer I'm going to be using today is Too Faced Shape Tape. It's in the shade Light. It looks like this. I'll just show you again one more time. I like to use this underneath my eyes, but if I use too much, it becomes kind of difficult to blend out. So if you do end up using this, a little goes a long way. So as you can tell, I used a little bit underneath my eyes just because I want it to be able to blend easily. So I'm just going to pat this in my skin under my eyes. So after I let my foundation set, if I see any spots that need a little bit more coverage, I go in with my e.l.f. concealer in the shade Light. It looks like this. And I'm just going to take a little bit, just like on this spot here. I want it to have a little bit more coverage in this one. Then I just go ahead and dot it on. And then I just go back in with my beauty blender and I blend it out. Alright. And then for my next step, is I'm going to set underneath my concealer. So the face powder that I'm going to be using today is the Airspun Original Formula. It's in Naturally Neutral. It looks like this. So what I do is I just kind of like get some on the lid, and then I just kind of dip my beauty blender in that, and I put it underneath my eye. I'm also going to do it to my nose, because this is where I tend to get oily throughout the day. So while I let that sit, I'm going to do my eyebrows. I like to do my eyebrows because by the time I'm done, I like to then go back and completely finish my baking. So that's what I'm going to do right now. We're going to start on my eyebrows. So what I take is I take this comb by e.l.f. It's a brow comb and brush. I thought it doesn't have a number, but this is what it looks like. And I love to use this side because it's like super stiff, and it helps me comb out my brows to get the shape that I want to fill them in. So this brow right here, this is the problem brow. This brow got messed up, so this is the one that I tend to work harder on to make it match this one, because I like the thickness of this one, but this one is not as thick. So bear with me. So I just comb it out like so. And I'm going to be using a pomade. I don't remember who it was by, but it looks like this. It came with this cute little brush that I just used in the set that it came with. And this is what the pomade looks like. It's black, just because my hair is black. Alright, so what I do is I take the pomade and I dip my brush in it, like so. And I get product on it. And then before I take the brush out, I wipe it on the sides just to give me a good clean shape of the brush, so that way it's as pointy as possible before I go in. So what I do is I very lightly make a line underneath my eyebrow. And then immediately afterwards, I comb it out. I just kind of wipes it all away, but it's fine. It's fine. And then I like to go on the top when there's not as much product, just to darken it up. So when I think that it's the shape that I want it, I go ahead and I go in with my Maybelline Brow Drama. It's in this, it's clear, it's just a clear gel that just holds my brows in place. So I just go in there and fill in. And then I do the exact same thing to the next brow. So my camera ended up cutting out yesterday while I was recording my makeup look, so I'm gonna go ahead and resume where I left off yesterday. So I was baking underneath my eyes, and while my eyes were baking, I just went ahead and finished up doing my eyebrows. So now that my face was baking, I'm gonna go ahead in with my beauty blender and brush and blend that out, or press it in. And I'm going to go ahead and take my beauty blender one more time, and I'm going to press it into my skin. I just like to use the beauty blender just because it seems to melt powdered product into my face. So now that I've done that, I'm just going to be taking my Maybelline Fit Me powder. It looks like this, and I like to use this just to press into the rest of my face. So after I press that into my face really well, I'm just going to go ahead and go in again with my Beauty Blender just to melt it into my face a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bronze my face. The bronzer I'm going to be using is the Too Faced Chocolate in medium deep. It looks like this. It's very pretty and it smells really good. So I like to use that, as well as this product I showed in my last video. I don't know how to say it, but it's in Bamboo Bronzer. Looks like that. I like to take this one first, and I just get a fluffy brush. It's a Luxie fluffy brush. It looks like this. And I just go ahead and I dip it in here. Right. So I just like to go in with this Royal & Lang Nickel Dual Fiber Brush. It just looks like this. I just kind of like to go in with this just to go ahead and blend what I just did out. So then just to deepen that a little bit, this is where I'm going to take my Too Faced and I'm just going to deepen it in certain parts. So once I feel that it's applied to the right amount that I like, I just go ahead and go in with the same brush and blend it out. So after I blend it out to my liking, I then proceed on to my eyeshadow. I don't like to do my highlighter until near the end of the video, so don't worry, I didn't forget about it. So to prime my eyes, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Anti-Crease Eyeshadow Primer. It looks like this. To just apply a small dime size amount to my finger. So after I melt it into my skin as much as I can with my finger, I go ahead and take my Airspun translucent powder again, and I just go over that just to set the primer. And the brush I am using is just a buffing brush by the Real Technique. It looks like this. You just want to make sure that you set your eyes really well so that way when you apply eyeshadow it blends. Okay, so now moving on to eyes, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. It looks like this. I'm going to be taking the hazelnut shade right here. It looks like this. It's in the shade hazelnut, as I said before. And I'm going to take a Scone blending brush. It's just a round blending brush. And I'm going to take this into my crease, kind of like all over my lid, just because it's going to be my transition color into the other shade. So what I like to do is I like to start in like the outer corner, kind of patting it on and doing little circular motions on the outer part of my eye, and I slowly make my way in to the center of my eye. And then I'm just going to do the same thing to the other eye. I'm going to go ahead and pick up another color. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. crease brush. It looks like this. I'm going to be taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills palette in the shade Burnt Orange. It's this one right here. And I'm just going to focus this a little bit lower and put it in my crease. So. and I'm just doing windshield wiper motions and circles. And then once I get it to the consistency that I want it, I'm going to go ahead and start blending it in with the hazelnut. And with that same exact e.l.f. blending brush, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Real Gar color, this one right here. I'm just going to put it in the outer corner. I'm going to put it basically over top. So after I apply all those 3 colors, I take the Real Techniques crease brush. It looks like this. And I'm just going to blend all the colors together. Okay guys, so my camera cut out once again. I'm not really sure what it is, but I think I need a bigger SD card. Anyways, so it cut out when I was doing my eyeshadow, and basically all I did was after I took the burnt orange color and the Regar color, I took this Venetian red color right here, and then I went over it with this color right down here, and basically I just used this e.l.f. blending brush that looks like this, and I just took it in and I placed it on the sides right here and here, and I just blended it back and forth like so on both sides. So I just blended it to the intensity that I wanted it, and then I went back in with this blending brush and I just redid my burnt orange color and then this Regar color, just so that way it could blend out nicely. So I took this shader brush, it looks like this, and I went ahead and I took this color right here, Vermeer, and that's what I popped on the center of my lid. And then just to intensify that a little bit more, I took this Champagne Truffle from the Chocolate Bar palette and placed that right. So just to finish off the eyes, I used this Creamy Peachy Rose color by Wet n Wild, and I took that on my lower water lash line. So I took this eyeliner, this pencil in Radial, it's in black, in my upper lash line, and I just lined my eye on the top of it with it, and then I went ahead and I curled my lashes. The eyelash curler I used was the e.l.f. eyelash curler. I just curled my lashes. I didn't want to apply falsies with this look just because I prefer not to. And the mascara that I applied to my lashes is the Artistry mascara. It looks like this. And then I applied another coat of mascara, and it's just the Milani Big and Bigger Lashes. So that was it for the eyes. I then went ahead and did my lip. My lip color was this Bare Minerals color. It looks like this. And I just put this on my lips, but this lipstick is too shiny for me, so what I ended up doing was I ended up taking my Airspun translucent powder and just dipping my brush, just any brush. I use the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush. It looks like this. And I just kind of patted it on my lips like this. And then I would rub it together, and then it mattified the lips because I personally prefer matte lips. So for my highlighter, I used the Carly Bybel palette. It looks like this, and I went ahead and took the highlighter color in this shade, and then I went over top of it with this shade. Basically just dipped my brush in the tube and just went ahead and touched it on my cheeks like this. And then afterwards I just kind of took my beauty blender and melted it into my skin. And I also applied it to my brow as well as my nose. So I just took a small blending brush by e.l.f. and I applied it to my nose and my eyebrow. So that was how I finished this makeup look. I sincerely apologize that my camera cut out and I didn't get to show you everything, but I for sure will show you next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. I personally love this makeup look. I think it can be wearable anywhere, but I mean, makeup can be wearable anywhere, girl. Do your thing. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more makeup tutorials done by me, just go ahead and subscribe. If you want to keep up with me on social media, I'll leave that down below as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye!